Hello, my name is Josh and this is the recap. The Keystone XL pipeline has ground to a halt after a federal judge has ruled that the Trump administration did not consider enough of the environmental consequences that the pipeline would bring. Mark your calendars because Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg has announced that she will be participating in the Montreal climate strike on the 27th of September. Dorian blew through the Maritimes this weekend, making landfall in southern Nova Scotia as a tropical storm, having wreaked havoc in the Bahamas and the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
My name is Terry Lynn Brand. I'm Mohawk Nation Turtle Clan. I live on the Six Nations Reserve. I am a traditional seed keeper in my community, which means that I carry the seeds of my ancestors and hope to prolificate them, getting them back healthy, getting them back pure, and returning them back to my community. Haudenosaunee people had a very specific diet, a very nutritious diet, and upon contact and eating all the kinds of foods that we do in modern society, we've ended up getting away from our traditional diet, and therefore we've increased in our number of illnesses that we're getting that are food related. For example, the big one is obviously diabetes. My family was the last sustainable agriculturalists in the Six Nations community. So I learned that growing up from grandparents, parents, aunts and uncles. People like that taught me, and they were my mentors, my traditional mentors. So I've tried to keep that going. World food security is a tremendous issue around the world that the world has to come to grips with. And so that's one of the kind of focal points that we're doing here, is that we're trying to tell our people, in ancient times, our people had up to 10 years worth of food stored. And today we're lucky to have 10 days. Like I'm building this Earthship here. Basically, it's a humongous seed bank. If you go inside, there's lots of corn that's hanging up in there, but the Earthship itself is going to be a huge classroom where that we'll be able to have workshops and just a little gathering. So we have everything here from gardening to seed saving, corn breeding. So it's actually an old technique that's trying to use some modern stuff. So the Earthship itself has basic principles, and the first principle is that it provides its own heating and cooling. Built into the wall, it creates a huge mass, and as that mass eventually heats up with the earth, it becomes the temperature of the earth, so it kind of stays a uniform temperature all the year round. So that's basically how it warms itself. Now the front, across the whole front, you'll see the glass. The glass is basically, there's about almost 40 some feet across the front is a greenhouse. So when you walk into the building, the first 40 feet, you're actually walking through a greenhouse. And that's kind of what's giving it the added light and heat. Now the roof itself is covered with metal, and you notice the metal is white, kind of an unusual color, but we have to know to try to combat climate change and the greenhouse effect and all that stuff. We know that it's better for people to go to white roofs. The rain falls on the roof, and number one, behind the back of the Earthship is a 2,000 gallon water tank. So it fills from the roof, and the eave trough goes down, and it's filtered first through just basic rocks, clean wash rocks that kind of remove the acid from the acid rain, but then it goes into a huge bowl filled with charcoal. So it becomes like a Brita filter, so the water flowing through there gets totally, the rainwater gets totally filtered that way. Then it dumps into the 2,000 gallon tank.